A chilling new report, suppressed by the mainstream media, reveals that Israel may be plotting a catastrophic false flag attack on American soil, eerily reminiscent of 9/11. The motive? To drag the US into another series of forever wars in the Middle East, this time starting with Iran. According to news from Tehran, Israel's Mossad spy agency was hacked, just days before Netanyahu launched strikes on Iranian targets. The files uncovered? Nothing short of apocalyptic. Among them, blueprints for cyber warfare, targeted assassinations, blackmail material, and even the unthinkable, the Samson option. Israel's doomsday doctrine to blow up the entire world with a nuclear holocaust if their own survival is ever threatened. But the most explosive...
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Bracha, HaKodash, double honors to the elders and apostles and great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect, Shalom Barakathum. And this is just a lesson through the Spirit. I want to warn, okay, of what's going on. You know, as we know, as the scriptures say, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. And these are evil days that we're coming into, okay? Now, we hear the term a lot about the false flags, and we know that this has been part of the MO of past times. We've been kind of warning about it. Another one happening over the past several years. But it looks like this is going to be imminent, and it makes sense because, you know, like we were going over the same analogy I give, you know, we play Madden, you run the same slant play or whatever, and you know the opponent can't stop it. And this is at the point now where the American people, they don't have it within them to question things, okay? So when they do whatever they're going to do, they're going to buy it, okay? They're going to buy it, and they're not going to have a choice. They're going to beat you over the head with it. They're going to shame you. They're going to fear monger, okay? We saw them test this propaganda to the max in 2020, because what did they do? They were able to convince the entire world that they needed to lock down over something that had a 0.001% deadliness that wasn't even natural, okay? And they convinced the whole world to lock down. They transferred all kind of wealth and all kinds of things. So these days that we're getting ready to come into is not for the faint, okay? All right? I'm going to get what was the precept that I had in mind? I believe it was I believe that's in Sirach, Wisdom of Solomon. I'll have to look it up. See what comes up. And boy, you really just gotta stay in the scriptures, man, because you know your mind just you forget things, and you know, you get these lowered attention spans, you know. Let me see, it won't even come all the way up, this damn phone, man. But it's Ecclesiasticus 2:12. Let me go to it. All right, this is Sirach, chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways." Now, this is for a lot of you guys that watch that you know, you got kind of scared, so you start watching videos again, but you ain't been out there, you ain't been contributing, you ain't been doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know, your hands are faint, all right? And that's ultimately a sign of incredulity, okay? You know, and unbelief. You know, verse 13, it says, "Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended." And when you see what's getting ready to come this way, when they do what they're going to do, you're so comfortable. You're used to air conditioning and Wi-Fi and You know, something always going on the weekends. You know, you got things to entertain you like television. You got food you can have delivered to you. Well, in one strike, all that can be erased. Your way of life here is extremely fragile, and Esau wants it that way for a reason. Okay, he gave you all of these trinkets to spoil you. Okay, now you're weak. Okay, now the average man can't even do a few pull-ups. All right, the average man can't even do 10 push-ups, man. You can't even lift, you know, what is that? What is a push-up? 70% of your body weight? You see? Now your mind is destroyed. Now you don't remember anything. We're suffering from it too. Now everything's got to be Googled, which is another engine of information and misinformation that they control. Okay? They're going to be able to put up who the real people are, you know? And people will look at what pops up on Google and take it as gospel because they've abandoned critical thinking. They've spoiled you. They've gotten you to this point. Okay, so when Esau would make his move, and these will be the final move that he's going to make. Okay, America's at the end of its rulership. You know, we just had the 250th anniversary of the army, and that's about the time that empires fall. Okay. It says, verse 14, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? Okay? See, all of you guys that went back into the world that thought this was no big deal, or the Lord ain't coming back, or if he do, it's going to be a long time from now. You in this lollygagging spirit settled. All right? The Lord speaks about you specifically. Let's play a little bit more of this video, and then I'm going to grab that Thessalonians. All right, let's see if this video will play again. It's been acting up.
The Samson option. Israel's doomsday doctrine to blow up the entire world with a nuclear holocaust if their own survival is ever threatened. But the most explosive revelation? A detailed plan for a large-scale false flag attack on American soil, designed to manipulate US public opinion and ignite World War III. Is history about to repeat itself? Or is something even... Before we dive in, if you're interested in sponsoring this show, please email sponsor@thepeoplesvoice. Front of all these people, please email us at sponsor@thepeoplesvoice.tv. The USS Nimitz, a 50-year-old aircraft carrier set for retirement next year, has just been deployed to the Middle East. But why now? Why send an aging warship into a high-stakes conflict zone? Some are asking, is this a setup? Could the Nimitz be a sacrificial pawn, a floating bait, gift wrap for Israel, to sink and then blame on Iran? A move designed to manufacture consent for all-out war. Sound far-fetched?
Yeah, you see, they got an aircraft carrier that they were already planning to retire. Okay, that's very interesting because, you know, when things that they're going to know they're going to lose money on or retire anyway, well, why wouldn't they sacrifice it? You see? Yeah, and they need people to believe that, and people are believing the narrative. Okay? Because they're just believing him, man. You know? Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 13:23, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. Okay? And this is why when they said that they are the chosen people, everybody believed them. This is why when they told you that the whatchamacallit what came out of China and it was natural and it was a lack of it was a lack of regulations or whatever they blamed it on. You know, back in 2020, people believed it. Okay, when they told you particular things were safe and effective, everybody believed it. Why? Because he said it. You see, things that make no sense, people will just go along with it. because of who it came from. But when we say it, well, let's read the rest of verse 13. It says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they help to overthrow him. Okay? So people, especially these people in these churches that look at us as competition, okay, which we're not competing with them. All right. They're losing members because people are waking up. But we don't have a monetary incentive, at least not at Great Millstone. These other camps, maybe do. But they already see us as competition. So when they see the narrative point towards the true men of the Lord, that they're the problem, they're going to be right there to help overthrow us, man, because they always wanted us out of the way, and they've never seen a white man that they even want to bend over for, okay, and do the bidding of. These black churches, a lot of you gonna get twisted up by the Most High, man. Wicked, man. It's wicked because it's passive aggressive, and we hate that shit. It's like lukewarm. It's like the it makes you feel like how the Most High feel in Revelation 3. I will spew you out of my mouth. It might be Revelation 2. Just like that repulsive feeling you get, man, when somebody's being, they're trying to be aggressive, but they're trying to hide it. That shit ain't respectable, man. That's you churches. Okay, and that's a lot of you fake people around us, and it may be people in your life, brothers. You're gonna have to examine people around you, man. Women, family members, people you might be friendly with. They're around you to overthrow you, okay? So when they do they make these acts, okay? Remember that the majority of these people are the dead, okay? As a matter of fact, before I try to restart this video, it's in Proverbs. Okay. Proverbs 21. And now start at 15. Let me see. Yeah, 15. It says, it is joy. I'll start at 14. It says, a gift in secret pacifieth anger. Okay. And a reward in the bosom, strong wrath. All right. It says, it is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. Okay. You see? And right now, it's been the opposite, because America's upside down world, though. Workers of iniquity, they've been getting rewarded. Okay. Cardi B is rewarded. Okay. A Young Thug and all of these guys, they do wickedness and get rewarded. Donald Trump gets rewarded. You see? And what do we get? It says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So the Lord sees these people as the dead. Okay. So that's how you have to look at it. That's why we're of the light, man. And I'm gonna hold this real quick. Play a little bit more, and it ain't gonna be too long. This video ain't really acting right. Where is it?
Official porn, a floating bait, gift wrap for Israel to sink and then blame on Iran. A move designed to manufacture consent for all-out war. Sound far-fetched? It wouldn't be the first time something like this was tried. Remember the USS Liberty. Israel opened fire on American survivors as they floated helplessly in life rafts, using unmarked planes to hide their tracks. The goal? To leave no witnesses and to drag the US into another war on their behalf. Sound familiar? It should, because it worked. US service members describe a deliberate coordinated assault, followed by a cover-up reaching the highest levels of power.
Anything.
You see, so the least of the flock, as we bring out in Jeremiah 15:45, will draw them out. Okay, now they've done this before. You see, so we already know who the culprits are. See, the Lord is cold, man. Okay, the Lord will confirm prophecy, because you can read that and you say, well, that could be anybody. How do you know that's talking about? Well, spiritual understanding. Okay, when you read the whole scriptures in context, you understand who's who. You don't look at things by the names. People get caught up on names. Okay, Uriah the Hittite. Well, you can be called by the land you were dwelling in, or you could be called by the name of your people, or you could just be called by another name. People don't know the difference between that. They don't know the difference between a name and a title. You see? So they don't know what's going on. You got to read the whole, eat the whole roll, man, and then you get the full understanding. You know who's who. If you have this, if you got understanding and you've read the scriptures, you should know who the devil is, man. You should know who Esau, Edom is. When you look out at the world today, it is unquestionable who's who. Okay? The land of the north, the what's known as the West, primarily America. Okay, Babylon the Great, that's us over here. That's America, man. Okay, and that's where all the judgment would go down. And who's at the bottom in Babylon the Great? You see, so you should know who we are, and you should know who they are. And by they, I mean our mortal enemies. Okay, the Edomites. Okay, who the Lord is on his way back now to destroy. But if you don't read the signs, if you don't have a sense of urgency, we can't give that to you, man. All right? Y'all are going to be caught off guard with this. Let me see. Salakia.
It moved aboard that ship that was shot at. They took out all of our antennas within 3 seconds. Our 450 caliber machine guns were gone. Every watertight door was hit, and this went on for 25 minutes, dropping napalm on us. 25 minutes of that, you can't imagine. Every second was like an hour. We saw the torpedo boats coming. We thought, the Star of David, oh, good. Because these were unmarked jet aircraft. We didn't know who was attacking us. We thought it was the Arabs. And then we saw the torpedo boats, and the Star of David thought, oh, man, here's our best friends who are going to come help us. No, they come to sink us. They fired 5 torpedoes at us. LBJ gets on the phone, and his exact words were, I don't give a GD if all those sailors die. I'm not going to embarrass my ally Israel, like I said in the letter. Now, how did he know that if we didn't know it? Who was attacking it?
Yeah, see, LBJ, he was a pure demon, okay? And he started the whole new movement of the civil rights, okay? He's the one that he did more damage to you than Abraham Lincoln or any one of them devils did, man, because he was the final nail in destroying the family. Okay, they were already scattering us, separating us, our families and our kids, in chattel slavery. They were already doing these things, but the spirit of family was still in us. We still valued the order of a husband and wife at that point. But once LBJ and these civil rights niggas gotten lockstep, they convinced you with women's liberation and all of this other BS that family was not in your best interest. As a matter of fact, it's holding you back. You see, this is the serpent again. In Genesis, the 3rd chapter, thou shalt not surely die. Told that to the women. They know that you will become gods. And women bought it. Okay. LBJ did that, man. So this demon, was locked in with the small hats, man. Okay. Do you see what they did? So we're not ignorant to what's going on. It's going to catch y'all off guard, not us. Okay. We're firmly inside the ark. Okay. We're waiting for the door to be sealed.
They then have the president of the United States. So this guy's trying to do the right thing, Captain Tully. He's like, we're going to help them. He gets called back by the Secretary of Defense. He's thinking, I'm going to go over his head because this is crazy. And now the president of the United States is saying, I don't care. I don't give a GD if they die. I am not going to embarrass our friend and ally Israel. So he knew.
We were set up by our own government to die.
This wasn't a battlefield mistake, it was a calculated strike. Israel killed 34 American sailors in cold blood aboard the USS Liberty. And instead of holding them accountable, the US doubled down on its support during the Six-Day War. Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is turning up the heat, issuing thinly veiled threats against American lives if the US doesn't once again fall in line. He's demanding support for another brutal blood-soaked war of his own making, and warning of consequences if Washington refuses to play along.
Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead.
It's extortion disguised as diplomacy, and once again, Americans are being asked to...
Yeah, the Most High did a beautiful job making a super sinister villain like this guy, man. You just saw on the screen. You see, that nigga is a high level demon. He got a legion of demons on him. Okay, he's the perfect villain to usher this thing in, man. This is First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. This is talking to the elect of Israel, okay, Israelites, because the rest of these people do not have it. They can know right now we're on the brink of World War III, and they're still walking around. They're planning picnics. They're thinking about real estate portfolios. All right. You know, they're thinking about their vacation. They know they can't retire, but they're still spending money. Okay, I saw the news clip that said 60% of the people that went to Coachella, they had to finance it. So why are you going out into a music festival and you don't even have the money? You got to finance that. These people are through, man. There's nothing you can't pull over the eyes of the American person, man, the average American person. Okay, you got these truthers out here. They see things, but they don't have the Holy Spirit, and they're not. Most of them are not Israelites, so they have no chance either, man. So who is Paul speaking to? It's talking about the elect of Israel, because see, we know what's going down. We know that there's not going to be in America when this thing is all said and done. Okay, it says verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. See, because a woman knows that she's pregnant. You see, just like these people know America's basically done. They know this thing's at the end, but she don't know when her water's going to break. When her water breaks, it's like sudden. It's like, oh, and then by that time, it's too late. Okay. Your ass decided to go on a Carnival cruise knowing you was 9 months pregnant. Okay, now you on a boat somewhere, you know, with your water broke out there, stuck. That's these people, man. Okay. If you know you're pregnant, you're supposed to sit your ass down somewhere, man, or be under the shelter of a man. But these people here, you're like a 9 month pregnant woman, wanton, going on trips by yourself, you know. Just walking around, drinking alcohol, just through, like you're not pregnant. Like your water can't break any moment. But that's what's going to happen to these people, man. Because it's a covering cast over them. You see, it says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And you can read all throughout the scriptures. You know, I'm thinking of Ezekiel 7. I'm thinking of 2 Ezra 15. I'm thinking of Isaiah 47. All of the destruction is described to what's going to happen. Okay? 2 Ezra 15 and 16, really. All right? That's what's going to come on you, okay? It says, and they shall not escape, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. All right. And so that's what we're up against. They're going to want to snuff out the light. And that's why we're not going to be on the highways and byways for much longer. We're not going to be able to openly do videos and break these things down anymore, because the evil day is going to be upon us. And everybody that didn't take heed, everybody that thought they had time, everybody that was settled or thought maybe you wishy-washy, guess what? You made your decision, even if you didn't make a decision. Okay? So with that, I'll end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh ba'ashem Yahweh Shai ba'ashem rachakodash. Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah.